sitting at the end of my porch. It's early in the day, but as it seems, it's going to be a sunny and not very windy day. Above me, hanging from the ceiling, we cannot ignore my Thanksgiving cacti. They are at their prime. These are very easy to grow plants, also reliable bloomers. They never fail to grace me with beautiful flowers this time of the year. In today's video, we are going to repot to CYMBIDIUM, which I bought already 2 weeks ago. They have been acclimatizing in the same pots they came with, and so it's about time we repot them. These are no ID hybrids, but it doesn't matter. This one I bought to replace my gastrophias, which did not make it, and so I had the space here and an empty pot. I already have others with same color, but they are in the ground, and I really like this red. This other one is different from the others I have, and I find it very beautiful. Really like it. In this place I had my clivia, but she was growing too large for this place, and so I moved it to a different one. Most of my cymbidium were planted in the ground, but I still have others in pots, also under this porch, as you can see here. They are all growing in clay pots that are not very tall, and so I have placed them on top of others that are too large, but they are tall, giving them the height I needed for them. I will explain better later in this video. And here is the bed where I have planted most of my cymbidium. That was 2 years ago. Here they get direct sun, especially this time of the year, but they also get a lot of rain during winter, which is not the ideal situation. Unfortunately, some of the flowers were prematurely damaged by the intense rains we had recently. Not only that, they show signs of having been munched by all sorts of critters that swarm around here. These ones are just opening and they look so beautiful. We are having lovely weather this week, which also helps. So many spikes here. We can see some munching signs on the buds, which is a pity. Anyway, what can we do? Temperatures this fall have been so warmish so far that plants in my garden are completely confused. Look at this clematis. She thinks it is spring already. It should be dormant and leafless by now, but instead it is growing new stems and leaves as if it were spring. I would not be surprised if it even blooms. These red ones are emerocallis. They look similar to lilies, although they aren't. These flowers last only 1 day each, but every day there are new flowers opening. I like the pop of color on this bed while the cymbidium buds are fattening. So just a look around to see all the spikes and buds in this area, so that you can see how much better they are doing than last year. Too bad they don't open all at the same time. I have placed some snail and slug pellets, but nothing I can do with the small insects. Before we go from here and do the cymbidium repot as promised, let me show you this bed here. You have seen my bromeliads more than enough, but there is this one which I have never shown you. This is a bromelia type that I'll put the name on the screen. This is a bit different from the others I have. This is a fast grower native to Brazil. And the spike is so beautiful, so different. This is a pendulous in Florence with bright pink bracts and cute blue flowers. However, be careful with the leaves. They are tough and serrated. Much care needed when touching it. And finally, we are going to the other end of the porch. Here we are. Everything is set for the repotting of both Cymbidium I recently bought. Starting with the yellow one, and I have to say I just hate to see the Cymbidium pots root bound like this. I feel that these roots are crying for help. We often hear say that Cymbidium should only be repotted when they are root bound. But let's not exaggerate. I do not see the point of this unless for commercial reasons. These hybrids are a mix of terrestrial and epiphytic species of Cymbidium, and in nature none of them has root balls restricted in any way. What I believe they mean is that water balance is of major importance and better keep them drier than waterlogged. In smaller pots, they never get too much water and they dry quickly. But that doesn't mean they need to be root bound like this. I like to start by removing the dry bracts so that I can see the new growths, and that way not to damage them. This Cymbidium has 4 new growths. They were really in need of a repot to let them grow. The new growths are healthy, and although they are chubby, they can easily be broken. So we have to be so careful. This root ball is not the best I have seen, but I can live with it. Especially at the bottom, some roots need to be removed. A few more days and they would start to rot. Tight as they are, the roots need to be untangled, at least partially. We could, of course, repot it as it comes with the roots all crammed up. And I have tried it. But what happens is that the roots are so tight that they won't have the space to branch much. Some people make their life easier by cutting the bottom part of the root ball. I never tried that way, but there's an option for you. What I usually do is try to untangle the outer roots. I prefer to avoid cutting roots unless they look mushy. It takes a lot of patience and quite some time, but I find it's worthy. And it's therapeutic too. I believe this is enough untangling. I'll put this aside and we'll deal with the red one next. This one only has 2 new growths and they are well developed already. They already have leaves. I prefer to remove the older dry sheets, as I said. I like to remove them at this stage. This root ball looks a lot healthier than the other one. And all I have to do is separate some of the roots to give them space to branch. They were so tight in the pot that they look glued to each other, but they are being easy to separate. Also, have to be careful not to break any. So now we are ready to repot my plants. This is the substrate I'm going to use. Oh no, look who found me. This is my dog, it is. Last time I looked, she was quietly dozing in the sun by the gate, waiting for my husband. I was hoping she would stay there quietly for longer. But now that she realized that what I'm doing is so much more interesting, she won't go away willingly. I have to take her indoors, give her a treat, and leave her there till I'm finished here.
Vá, temos que ir embora. Olha, anda. Vai lá para dentro.
So, going back to my substrate, this is a mix of coconut husk, pine bark, charcoal, and leca beads. These are pieces of broken pots, which I always keep aside for future uses. They are great to place at the bottom of the pots to increase drainage or even to make the pot shallower. A bit too much, that will do. A bit of substrate at the bottom. And the height is fine. I'm planting the CYMBIDIUM in the center of the pot, as I always do. At present, the new growths are growing on one of the sides, but in the future, more new growths can sprout from the other side. So the middle is the best way to place it. I am using clay pots because water evaporates from clay pots a lot faster than from plastic ones. And for me it's easy to control the watering, especially because my climate has humid and cool summers. And here, under the porch, they only get direct sun for short periods, that is from mid-afternoon till sunset. The downside is that CYMBIDIUM look better in pots that are taller than wider. That is mostly due to the arching down strapping leaves. In small pots, there's the danger of touching the ground. The spikes also look better if not staked, not to mention that some spikes have a bending habit. There are plastic pots appropriate for CYMBIDIUM that are narrow but tall. They can be ordered online as they are lightweight. Clay pots are common here, but they always have wide openings. So I'm using this type of clay pots, and to make them taller, I insert them on top of larger, taller pots, which I already had. Unfortunately, I have to stake the spikes. That is for their safety, because this is a passageway, and if they were bending, they could break, especially with a dog. And there's one important thing I have to say. After repotting, we should wait a few days, like a week or so, before watering again. That is to give the cuts on the roots time to heal before getting wet again. Now to finish with, I'm topping the substrate with a layer of pine bark. And so this one is about done. Next, I'm going to repot the other one the exact same way. Here they are, both repotted on clay pots, and I've placed them on top of taller structures which in this case are old iron cooking pots. The best time to repot is any time of the year, favoring spring and fall, of course, except if it is too cold or too hot, and when they are throwing flower spikes. Otherwise, any time of the year is okay. Before we wrap up this video, just a quick look at my Hoyas. They are both Hoya carnosa, but different varieties. This is Carnosa variegated. It never bloomed for me, maybe because it was growing lots of whitish leaves, which are nice, but have the downside of not making photosynthesis, which was weakening the plant, not letting it grow properly. But since I removed most of those whitish leaves last summer, it is growing a lot better, and I can already see it is much larger. On the other hand, this one, the tricolor, is such a vigorous grower that I had to remove several stems last summer to give the inner structures a better ventilation. I love the new leaves. They are so shiny and beautiful. This is also a great bloomer. It gave me lots of clusters all through summer. There's still one, and this may be the last one before the winter. Aren't these flowers, these little flowers, cute? I love to see how fuzzy the Carnosa species flowers are. Both these Hoyas live here under the porch all year round. And so this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I also wanted to thank you for your comments. They are always so much appreciated. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again next time.